I traded the same exact strategy for the last 30 days just to see if I can remain profitable. In this video, I'm gonna show you the exact charts I did, what worked, what didn't work, and how you can actually implement this into your own personal strategies. So let's get this video to 100 likes and let's get straight to it. All right, so I wanna walk you guys through a setup that I personally look for all the time in the market. And it's actually a really simple concept, but once you start noticing it on the charts, you'll realize it shows up everywhere. And a lot of those bigger moves in the stocks start the same way. So for me, when I'm looking at a setup like this, there are really only two things I care about. And first, is there a clear pattern forming? And second is price reclaiming that 9 EMA. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to stack 10 indicators or make trading overcomplicated. Enough of that, let's break down what's actually happening. So the first thing I actually look for is structure. So you'll notice on this chart that price spent a good amount of time moving sideways instead of trending straight up or straight down. And it started tightening into this wedge pattern. This is what people call consolidation. And as we know, consolidation is important because it usually means the market is building energy for the next move. I don't know, think of it like a spring. The longer price compresses into a tighter range like this, the more pressure starts to build. So then eventually price has to, do something with that pressure. And when it does, that usually is when you get that breakout. So in this case, you can clearly see the patterns forming. Right here, price is pulling back. And then it starts tightening inside this wedge. You'll start to see lower highs right here, these higher lows. And eventually price pushes towards the top of this structure. Now, this is where the 9 EMA comes into play. For the people that don't know, EMA is basically just showing us short-term momentum. So when price is trading below the EMA, momentum is usually weak. And when price starts getting back above the EMA, that usually tells me buyers are stepping in. So what I like to watch for is when price reclaims the 9 EMA while still inside consolidation. That's usually the early signal that momentum could be shifting. And one thing I personally try to avoid is chasing a stock when it's extended far above the 9 EMA, because when price gets too far away from it, to me at least, that's usually when you start seeing those continuous pullbacks. So I say that to say, when price reclaims the 9 EMA during a phase like this, which is like consolidation, that's where I start paying attention. It's basically the market telling you, hey, momentum might be shifting again. So just keep that in mind. And once you combine these two things, you got the pattern, the 9 EMA reclaim, you start getting a much clearer picture. So you got this tight consolidation pattern plus price reclaiming momentum, and that combination usually leads to breakouts. That's exactly what we're seeing here. Price spent weeks consolidating inside this wedge, and now we're starting to see it push back above the 9 EMA while testing the top of the pattern. One of the mistakes I see a lot of newer traders start to make is they get shaken out of trades way too early. They catch the breakout, price starts to pull back, and they panic out of the trade. But as we know, when a stock is trending well, it usually means the EMA is being respected at that support. So once again, price pulls back, touches the EMA, and then continues higher. So instead of trying to predict every tiny move, the EMA can act as, like a guide to your own strategy. So right now, the main thing I'm paying attention to is this higher low forming on this chart. As long as that higher low holds and price continues reclaiming the EMA, the setup is still valid. So if we start seeing price push through the top of this wedge, that's when the breakout move can really start accelerating. Because once consolidation breaks, that's usually not a lot of resistance until the next level. So for an example, in the Discord, we caught on to this 9 EMA reclaim right here. And now, as I'm recording this, bounce out of that 9 EMA, and now it's broken out of that wedge, and we're sitting at 446. I'll put a screenshot here because in the Discord, our price target was 440. We got in super, super low. So congrats to everyone I also posted on Twitter as well, so congrats to everyone who managed to bank on this trade. I'm gonna give you guys another example. It's ticker symbol ONDS. This is a setup that we're also playing in the Discord. You can see before, back in October of last year, it did the same exact move. You have consolidation within that wedge, 9 EMA bounce, and then you see the full breakout. So it goes from this, I don't know, $5 range to all the way up to 7, maybe 10 if you're counting the full extension. So for us in the Discord, we're seeing this right now. It bounced off the 9 EMA. It's currently outside the wedge. So we're personally looking for 12 to 13. That's my personal price target. So we're currently going to be playing this now. But the point of this video is to teach you guys that trading does not have to be so complicated. You can use certain things, certain tools to make things much easier on yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, the 9 EMAs, reclaim, it's not always going to work. So for an example, this chart right here, it reclaimed the 9 EMA, people started to buy right there, and then it fell right through, right back to that bottom trend line. So like I said, this is not 100% proof strategy, but it is something to consider while you're swing trading. This might not work for the day traders out there. And honestly, if you have a job or any responsibility during the day and you're day trading, I don't know what to tell you, but this could only, for me, this only worked for me while I started to swing trade. So I would never use this type of strategy on the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, none of that. Like, as swing traders, we're looking at higher time frames. So the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly, sometimes even monthly, Also, you can implement the 9 EMA and also have things like the MACD on your chart. You can have RSI. For an example, you can see right here, if you put RSI, it bounced straight off of this, if you can see right here, this yellow line, which means momentum is shifting back to the upside. So the past 30 days have been rough, I'm not gonna lie. There's been plenty of setups that I took personally. I didn't post in the Discord, I didn't post it on Twitter, but I did take a lot of trades from behind the scenes. Yes, I had some small losses, some trades that I thought was going to break out and they decided to fall through. But as I always say, make sure you always have a stop loss in place so you don't have to take a big loss. But the trades that I did the 9 EMA reclaim and they broke out, the profit on those trades overseeded the trades that I lost, if that makes sense. So if you're really thinking about doing this strategy, make sure you're doing it on setups that I would say honestly above $10. You can do it in small caps, but this type of strategy is much better if you are playing this in a mid-large cap type of situation. If you guys want me to continue displaying strategies that I personally use, let's get this video to 100 likes. And if you're thinking about wanting to join the Discord, the link is in the bio. Make sure to check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.